Welcome to this explainer, where we're basically going to completely shatter the myth that getting rich requires some brilliant, world-changing idea. You know, so many of us grew up watching these glorified stories of tech companies born in garages, and we just kind of assume that groundbreaking innovation is the only real path to massive success. But today, we're exploring why executing unglamorous, highly consistent, everyday businesses is actually the real secret to wealth. We're talking about operations that almost nobody even considers a quote-unquote real business until they see the staggering amount of money they bring in while the owners are literally fast asleep.
Okay, let's dive right into this contrast by comparing that romanticized startup dream against the quiet, boring reality. On one side, you have the flashy startup. If you try to invent the next big, unique tech app, you are competing against thousands of incredibly ambitious, smart people on a ridiculously crowded playing field. You're building from scratch, and honestly, the failure rate is incredibly high. But then, look at the boring business. You buy into an everyday, unsexy operation, think commercial cleaning services or pest control. Because it's not glamorous at all, there is drastically lower competition. Plus, it usually comes with proven cash flow and immediate returns from day one.
To really understand how this works, we're going to group these models by theme, starting with Section 1, the discomfort advantage.
So this advantage happens when physical discomfort or just dealing with a flat-out ugly product fiercely protects you from competition. Take a look at this staggering $34.86 billion market projection for the year 2030. Any guesses what industry this is for? It's portable restroom rentals. Literally, porta-potties. It is probably the least attractive business imaginable, and you know what? That is exactly why it's so incredibly profitable. Every construction site, every outdoor event, every fair needs one, but absolutely nobody wants to own one. The model is so brilliantly simple. You buy the units, you rent them out, you run a scheduled cleaning route, and you collect your payments. You aren't even selling anything. You're renting out something nobody wants to buy. The ugliness isn't an obstacle here. It's a massive, impenetrable moat against competition. And this commercial window cleaning example brilliantly illustrates the core strategy here. Moving from portable restrooms to towering skyscrapers, window cleaning sounds super dangerous and very blue-collar. Most people with a shiny business degree completely ignore it. But an operator running just 3 two-person crews specializing in hospitals and office buildings can build $300,000 a year. And here is the real secret. You don't actually need to conquer your own fear of heights or do the uncomfortable labor yourself. The barrier to entry here isn't a lack of startup capital, it's vertigo. You just need to hire the people who can comfortably go up there, pay them really well, and then you just manage the profit margin.
Moving right along, let's look at our next theme. Section 2, silent money machines.
We are talking about passive infrastructure that operates quietly in the background of our everyday lives, generating cash without needing constant customer service. Let's start with vending machines. One operator in Sydney built a network of 50 machines and literally hasn't personally touched a single one in years because he just contracted out the restocking. What you're really doing here is securing permission to monetize an empty hallway corner 24/7, pulling in $300 to $1,000 a month in net profit per machine. Then there's ATM networks. You simply charge a small fee for immediate cash convenience, generating up to $3,000 a month in net profit per location. And what's brilliant is an ATM pairs perfectly with a vending machine. You get 2 income streams from visiting the exact same spot. Finally, we have coin laundry, quietly pulling in an average of $150,000 a year by selling a completely recession-proof weekly necessity.
But the most crucial point here is this phenomenal 95% survival rate. Think about this. 95% of laundromats are still operating successfully after 5 years. Compare that to the dismal survival rate of opening a trendy, high-risk restaurant. People are always going to need to wash their clothes, completely regardless of the economy or new technology or whatever the latest trends are. And this proves exactly why serious investors would much rather prefer the reliable hum of washing machines over the chaotic, stressful glamour of the culinary world.
Now, parking lots take this silent infrastructure concept to the absolute extreme. Managing just 5 small lots in a high-demand commercial area can bring in $600,000 a year. Think about it. There is no inventory to restock, there's no product to sell, and there's no customer you have to serve with a smile. It is literally generating massive income from a flat piece of empty land. You compete strictly on location. And unlike some genius tech idea, a prime physical location simply cannot be copied overnight.
Let's shift our focus to our third theme now. Section 3, riches in unsexy niches. This is where pointing a traditional trade, or even a simple software tool, in a highly specific direction allows you to absolutely dominate a small, often overlooked market. For example, instead of being a general run-of-the-mill electrician, specializing in EV charging and smart home installations instantly bumps your rate to over $250 an hour, just by getting to the niche first. Or consider a plumber in Perth who built a 7-figure business by focusing exclusively on commercial kitchens. Because, look, when a restaurant floods at 2 a.m., they can't wait a week for an appointment. They will happily pay absolute premium rates for urgency. Or look at bookkeeping. Just 10 small business clients paying you for the peace of mind of not doing their own paperwork nets you $10,000 a month. And finally, light manufacturing. While everyone else is out there chasing flashy, exciting consumer products, someone is quietly making these specific, boring plastic screws that 100 different factories absolutely need to keep their operations running. By solving an urgent, specific operational problem, you make yourself completely irreplaceable.
Which brings us to the ultimate secret that connects all of these different models. Section 4, the recurring revenue rule.
A winning, boring business relies on a massive paradigm shift, and it's driven by a very simple structural loop. Think about it like this. If you sell a popsicle, you earn money exactly once. But if you rent the popsicle cart to someone else, you earn money every single month without ever selling another popsicle yourself. Whether it's a pest control contract, a storage unit, or a laundromat, the loop is the same. The customer pays, they leave, and they come back to pay again next month. There's no continuous persuasion, no frantic marketing required to constantly replace churned customers. Selling something once is just vastly inferior to renting it out and capturing income continuously with minimal extra effort.
Morgan Housel hit the nail on the head with this fantastic insight. It perfectly captures a fundamental human flaw in business. People chase excitement. We all want to be the visionary founder on the cover of a magazine. But the boring truth is that ambitious people often fail simply because they lack the patience to maintain a consistent, unglamorous process over a long period of time. Real wealth isn't built on excitement, it is built on relentless consistency.
Furthermore, as Walker Deibel points out here, you don't even need to build these recurring revenue streams from scratch. Actually, scratch starting from zero altogether. Buying a business with customers already attached completely changes your risk equation. You totally eliminate that terrifying early period of a startup where you don't even know if the idea actually works. Instead, you're buying a money stream that is already flowing from day one.
Okay, let's see how all these concepts build into real-world stories. Section 5, 2 Paths to Wealth.
Consider the paths of two very different guys, Daniel and Alex. They both wanted financial freedom by age 34. Now, Daniel chose the flashy route. He burned through his savings searching for a unique, disruptive app, competing on a playing field crowded by thousands of other ambitious peers. Today, at 41, he's still employed, still searching for that one genius idea, and feeling like time is totally running out. Daniel didn't fail from a lack of effort. He failed because of where he chose to compete. Alex, on the other hand, chose a field almost nobody wanted to step onto. He bought a 15-year-old laundromat with proven cash flow. He added a couple of vending machines to a nearby gym. Absolutely zero glamour. But after just 4 years, that combined consistent cash flow allowed him to quit his day job entirely. Alex successfully secured his financial freedom simply by embracing the boring. So, I'll leave you with this final, lingering question. Does your next idea pay you once, or does it pay you every single month? Seriously, use this as your ultimate filter from now on. Apply it strictly to shed all those flashy distractions, the hyped-up startups, the genius innovations, and focus solely on what actually builds long-term, reliable wealth. Because the truth is, the most successful path to financial freedom isn't about reinventing the wheel. It's about finding a wheel that already turns and quietly collecting the toll.